The fluorescent lights buzzed softly overhead, casting a pale yellow glow over the mats of Summit Martial Arts Academy. The faint scent of disinfectant mixed with the earthy tang of sweat. Punching bags swung lazily in the corner, their chains creaking with each sway. It was Thursday night. Peak hours were over. The energy in the room had shifted from the wild intensity of a full class to the more relaxed chatter of students winding down. A few lingered to practice combinations, while others gathered near the wall, scrolling through their phones or joking with friends. Near the far side of the room, Marcus Johnson pushed a mop slowly across the mats. Marcus was a tall black man, in his mid-40s, his build still solid under the faded gray work shirt and worn sweatpants. His skin was deep, smooth brown, his hair cropped short with a whisper of silver at the edges. He didn't move like most janitors. There was a quiet control to him, the kind you see in people who always know where their feet are. Even in the most ordinary movements, rinsing the mop, wringing it out, gliding it across the floor, there was balance, precision. Marcus kept to himself. He was polite if someone spoke to him, but he never started conversations. Most people barely noticed him. To them, he was just the janitor. But every now and then, when he thought no one was watching, Marcus's eyes would linger on the sparring matches, not casually, but with a sharp focus, like someone who understood exactly what he was seeing. On the other side of the room, Ethan Carter was holding court with a small group of fellow students. Ethan was 23, lean but powerful, with sandy blonde hair that fell into his eyes when he trained. He wore a crisp black belt, second degree, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and his record in local tournaments was impressive. He was talented, no doubt, but his confidence sometimes bled into arrogance. He had a way of speaking that made you feel like he was always slightly amused by you. "Man," Ethan said to the group, glancing over at Marcus, "he's always watching. Like, I swear he stares more than the new guys." One of the students smirked. "Maybe he wants to learn," Ethan chuckled. "Learn? Please, he's mopping mats. The only thing he's training for is a cleaner floor." The group laughed lightly. Not cruelly, but in that careless way people do when they don't think the other person hears. But Marcus had heard. He kept mopping for a moment, letting the water ripple across the mats. Then he straightened up, leaning on the handle. "You sure about that?" Marcus asked, his voice deep, steady. Ethan raised an eyebrow. "Sure about what?" Marcus looked at him directly now. "You really want to see if I've learned anything?" The group perked up. One of the guys grinned. "Oh, you calling him out, Marcus?" Ethan laughed. No, I'm the one calling him out. What do you say, big man? Couple of rounds. For fun." A few people chuckled, some curious, others skeptical. Marcus studied Ethan for a long moment. "You sure you want that, son?" Ethan smirked. "I'll go easy on you." The coach, a stocky man named Rick Morales, stepped in before it got out of hand. "All right, hold up. If Marcus is down, I'll ref it. Light contact, clean work, no one gets hurt." Marcus gave a slow nod, set the mop aside, and walked toward the gear rack. As Marcus slid on a pair of old loaner gloves, a memory flickered in his mind. Chicago, 1988. He was 15, standing in a smoky boxing gym on the south side. The air was thick with the sound of speed bags snapping, jump ropes slapping against the floor, and the low bass of hip-hop leaking from a battered boombox. His first sparring match, against a boy 2 years older, bigger, meaner. Marcus had taken a beating that day and refused to quit. The old trainer had pulled him aside afterward and said, "Kid, you got something you can't teach, heart. Don't waste it." Over the years, Marcus learned more than just boxing. Muay Thai, wrestling, and even a few years of no-rules underground fighting overseas. He wasn't just skilled, he was seasoned. But then came the turning point. An injury in a bare-knuckle fight, a hospital bill that nearly buried him, and then a tragedy. His younger brother, killed in a street altercation, Marcus still blamed himself for. The fight stopped after that, not because he couldn't still win, but because winning stopped mattering. Back in the present, Marcus stepped onto the mat, gloves loose at his sides. Ethan bounced on his toes, smiling for the small audience gathering. "Ready, old man?" Marcus didn't answer, just raised his gloves slightly and settled into a relaxed stance. They touched gloves. Ethan started light, flicking jabs, testing Marcus's reaction. Marcus didn't flinch. He moved his head just enough to let the punches glide past. Ethan threw a quick 1-2. Marcus slid sideways, pivoted, and touched Ethan's ribs with a short, precise shot. Not hard, but enough to make Ethan pause. The students made a low, "ooh" sound. Ethan grinned and stepped it up. Combinations came faster now. Hooks, straights, feints, but Marcus seemed to flow around them like water, using minimal movement. By now, the room was quiet except for the sharp smack of gloves and the shuffle of feet on mats. Ethan's breathing grew heavier. His smile faded. Marcus began adding light counters, a quick jab here, a body shot there, each one landing clean. The coach crossed his arms, watching closely. This wasn't luck. This was years of drilling, of knowing angles and timing so well it was second nature. Then Ethan tried to change the game. He shot in for a takedown, hoping to dominate with his grappling. But Marcus sprawled instantly, turning the motion into a counter grip that had Ethan locked in a submission before most in the room knew what was happening. Gasps rippled through, the onlookers. Marcus held it for just a second before releasing and stepping back. "You good?" Ethan sat up, sweat dripping, chest rising and falling. "What? What was that?" Marcus's lips curved into a faint smile. "Something I learned a long time ago." Marcus walked off the mat, picked up his mop, and went back to cleaning like nothing had happened. The room was buzzing now. Whispered questions, amazed stares. Coach Morales approached quietly. "You ever fight before, Marcus?" Marcus looked up, eyes calm. "A lifetime ago." Ethan, still catching his breath, stood and walked over. "Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, you know." Marcus gave him a nod. "It's all right. Just remember, it's not the belt that makes the fighter. It's what you've been through when no one's watching." From that night on, no one looked at Marcus the same way again. Never underestimate the quiet ones. Some battles are fought far from the spotlight, in places that leave scars no one can see. And sometimes the strongest fighters in the room are the ones who stopped fighting long ago until you give them a reason to start again.